Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Saucy Liz 77. Thanks for the suggestion, Liz. You asked, why do snakes flick their tongues? If you've ever watched a snake on TV, or worse, in your backyard, you might have wondered, is it tasting the air? Smelling something? Practicing for a rock concert? Today, we're breaking down the surprisingly clever reason behind this iconic snake move. So, if you've ever been creeped out, fascinated, or just plain confused by snakes, stick around as we unravel the tongue-flicking truth. Right here on Explaining Everything. First off, what's with the tongue flick? When a snake sticks out its forked tongue and quickly zips it back in like it's sampling invisible soup, that's tongue flicking. And no, they're not catching flies or doing yoga for their face. What they're actually doing is smelling. That's right, smelling with their tongues. Because of course snakes would find the creepiest way to sniff something. Snakes don't rely much on their nostrils. Instead, they use a special organ on the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ, or vomeronasal organ. It's their secret smell superpower. Imagine if your tongue could grab scent particles from the air, hand them to your brain, and say, "Yo, I think there's a mouse nearby." That's basically a snake's daily routine. Here's how it works. The snake flicks its tongue into the air, or the dirt, or your shoe if you're standing too close, and collects microscopic particles. Then it pulls the tongue back in and inserts each fork into the Jacobson's organ. Here's the wild part. Because the tongue is forked, snakes can detect differences between the left and right side. This gives snakes a chemical GPS. If there's more scent on the left fork, turn left. If it's on the right, turn right. It's how they track prey, avoid predators, and probably sniff out that one weird squirrel. Honestly, it's genius. Meanwhile, the rest of us get lost in parking garages with a fully functioning smartphone. Snakes aren't only flicking their tongues to hunt prey. That would be like using a superpower just to find snacks. They're also checking for potential mates, sizing up their surroundings, and making sure they don't wander into the path of something bigger with sharper teeth. The tongue flick helps snakes read the chemical room, so to speak. They can sense pheromones left by other snakes, detect past visitors, and even follow scent trails like a four-legged bloodhound, except with way fewer legs and way more dramatic flair. You might ask, why not just use a regular nose like everyone else? Good question. Snakes do have nostrils, but they're not nearly as good as the tongue-Jacobson combo. Most snakes are crawling around in dirt, under leaves, or in total darkness. They don't have great vision or hearing, so instead they use chemistry. They literally taste the air to navigate. It's the reptilian version of licking your finger to check the wind, except it actually works and doesn't make you look like you lost a bet. Plus, using the tongue means they don't have to breathe in to smell. That's handy when you're nose deep in compost or stuck in a burrow with 3 beetles and a bad attitude. Not all snakes are equally flicky. Some species flick their tongues constantly, like they're trying to win a tongue-flicking championship. Others are a little more chill about it. Desert snakes tend to be extra flicky, probably because dry environments leave fewer scent particles lying around, so they've got to work harder to gather clues. Meanwhile, arboreal snakes, those that live in trees, may flick a bit less often, since being 20 feet in the air limits how much ground scent sleuthing you can actually do. Here's a fun fact. When a snake is flicking its tongue faster than usual, it's on high alert. Think of it as the reptile version of refreshing your feed during a stressful group chat, except it's checking for danger or snacks. And get this, different flicks mean different things. Air flicks help detect airborne particles, while ground flicks are all about picking up scent trails. So, if you see a snake flicking the ground like it's trying to read Braille with its face, it's doing some serious detective work. Even baby snakes are born knowing how to do this. They don't take classes. They just come out of the egg ready to flick and sniff like pros. Baby geniuses, but with more scales. Also, despite what cartoons might suggest, the flicking tongue doesn't sting, shoot venom, or cast spells. It's just a mobile scent sampler. Although yes, it still looks mildly terrifying. To sum it all up, snakes flick their tongues to collect chemical info from the environment. That info goes to a special organ in their mouth that decodes it like a crime lab. The forked tongue lets them smell directionally, which helps them track prey, find mates, and avoid becoming dinner. It's weird, it's effective, and it's one of nature's coolest party tricks. So next time a snake sticks its tongue out at you, don't take it personally. It's not an insult. It's just checking if you smell like potential danger, dinner, or just bad cologne. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And hey, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.